Hey guys, Dropship Tyler here, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about what's been recently going on with eBay. My sales have been around a third to half of what they typically are, and if you check in like Facebook groups and the different chat groups I'm in, pretty much everyone is feeling the pain too. It's really weird because 2 weeks ago I went from having one of my best days ever outside of the fourth quarter, like Black Friday and stuff. I did $6,700 on one account in sales, and then yesterday and the day before I believe I did $2,500 on that same account and $2,700 on that account. Today I'm not sure. It's looking a little bit better, but it's too early to tell. It's just a really frustrating time. Things happen on eBay where they decide to change the algorithm around. eBay blames seasonality, which I highly doubt is the case. But at the same time, I'm not really too sure what we can do in terms of being a seller to actually counteract whatever they're doing. In terms of experimenting and all of that with our listings, whether we should increase our promoted listings, delete stuff, whatever. But right now I don't really have a great solution for it. I've been told by other big sellers that have been doing this for a lot longer that these things kind of happen every once in a while when eBay's testing things, and things typically go back to normal within 3 to 4 weeks, if not earlier. I've seen little recessions like this before on eBay, where you'll have 2 days where your sales are down 30-40% in a row, and then things pick back up. This one's a little bit different because now it's been prolonged for a little over a week now for me. Some people say the 20th. Mine started around the 16th, 17th. And mine's a little more drastic too than most people's, because I actually deleted some of my non-selling items without replacing them. So for me, I felt the hit even worse, which typically it's something that I normally don't want to do. I don't want to delete items and not replace them. But for this instance, I decided I wouldn't replace them because once I saw that huge drop in sales, I was like, all right, I just want to lower overhead right now. I'm just going to take a step back and kind of let everything run its course with what eBay is doing, and then once my sales start to trend back upwards, that's when I'll have that momentum and I'll list new products. I actually got rid of 2 of my VAs as well that were listing products to try to lower overhead. I'm still making money, but at the same time I realized, I guess, that if things like this happen more frequently, then I need to make sure that my store is actually becoming more efficient. I'm not worried about efficiency so much right now, but I need to get to the point of efficiency or being efficient. So that's kind of my goal right now, in the direction I've gone since this downturn that we've seen. I don't want to dramatize it and change everything about my store, but I think one thing that I could do a little bit differently is lower overhead. Because before, on the front end for the profit of these days, before this, I was making $400 to $500 a day front end profit, and then you got cashback on the back end and all of that. So I was looking at $700, $750 days easily of gross profit. On my peak day, it was closer to $1,000. And then I was looking at $350 a day of expenses, $350 to $400, I guess, with promoted listings, if you put that cost in there. So my overhead was high, but my profit was high too. And now, this past week and a half, I've seen my front end profit go from $400, $500 as low as $200, $250 front end profit, which is absolutely insane. And then on the back end cashback, that's obviously been cut in half too, because just of the way the the sales have gone. I'm not incurring as much item costs, so I'm not getting as much cash back from credit cards and other forms of cash back. But it's just a really brutal time. I mean, I'm not like gonna quit eBay dropshipping or anything, but at the same time, I like I said, I do want to take a more efficient approach. If we see this again in the future, then I won't, like worry about, oh, my overhead's too high, what am I gonna do? Like, and I'm not really asking myself what I'm gonna do now. I'm just saying that as a seller and as like a business person, you always want to make sure that you're protecting yourself in bad times, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. And once things get good again, I definitely will probably change my mentality back to having that like full-on growth. Just because before I believed that each listing had a positive expected value to it. And like what that means is basically each listing was worth a certain dollar amount on a monthly basis. Even if that listing didn't sell, like obviously I'm talking about expected value, like potential value. So now with the recent change in eBay, and like I said, hopefully everything just goes back to normal and they just change it back. But with the recent change in eBay, sorry, I lost my train of thought because someone's cutting the grass. With the recent change in eBay, I'm not so sure if all items have that same expected value that I was thinking of before, or if I need to be more selective on what I list and be more religious about deleting items on a daily basis that aren't selling. I don't think there was anything wrong with what I was doing before, because it was working with the state of that eBay was in. But now this past week and a half, it's going more towards efficiency, making sure my employees are taking on as much as they can, rather than having so many employees and not that much work, whatever. So that's kind of my mindset right now. And if you guys have any comments on how your sales are doing, or have any questions for me, just let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully you subscribe and you'll get notifications for more videos. Thanks, guys.